Welcome to the Explainer. So, 5 habits that are secretly hurting your memory. Let's get right into it. Have you noticed your memory feeling just a little foggy lately? It's so easy to blame age or think you're just slowing down. But honestly, the reality is way simpler. And the good news? It's totally in your control. Today, we're digging into how our daily routines are quietly messing with our recall and exactly how we're going to fix it.
Why did I walk into this room? Look, we've all been there. You're on the couch, you head to the kitchen for something, cross the threshold, and poof, total blank. You're just standing there like, wait, why am I here? I want to assure you, you are definitely not alone in this kind of everyday forgetfulness. It literally happens to the best of us.
It's usually not your brain failing you. It's your everyday routine sabotaging your memory. It's so easy to panic when these little lapses happen, right? But neuroscience gives us a much more hopeful perspective. This isn't some scary decline in your underlying brain health. More often than not, it's just your own habits getting in the way. You might be unknowingly doing things that make holding on to information way harder than it needs to be. So let's track down those memory thieves.
All right, first up, the physical foundation and how sleep and movement protect your memories.
Habit 1 is not getting enough quality sleep, and the fix is to prioritize a strict, consistent sleep schedule. Poor sleep is a massive memory thief. We kind of treat sleep like this optional luxury, but for your memory, it's an absolute necessity. And the trick isn't just clocking more hours, it's consistency. Going to bed and waking up at the exact same time trains your brain's internal clock, which guarantees that high-quality rest your memory is desperate for.
Memory consolidation. This is the critical process during sleep where the brain stabilizes, processes, and permanently stores new info. Sleep isn't just your brain powering down. It's actually this incredibly active essential period. Think of it like your brain finally hitting the save button. It takes all that fragile, short-term stuff you learned during the day, stabilizes it, and files it away into permanent storage. So when you skimp on sleep, you're literally crashing the system while it's trying to save.
Habit 2 is spending too little time physically active. And the tip here is to just take a brisk 15-minute daily walk. We sit at our desks, we sit in our cars, and then, we sit on the couch to recover from all that sitting. It creates this totally stagnant environment for our mind. But you absolutely do not need to train for a marathon to fix it. A simple 15-minute brisk walk is an unintimidating, super doable security upgrade for your brain that pays out massive cognitive dividends.
Brain-blood flow. Physical activity increases the delivery of essential oxygen and nutrients required for optimal brain function. Getting your heart rate up with that quick walk acts like a literal pump. It forces essential oxygen and nutrients straight up to your brain cells. It's basically feeding your cognitive engine. Without that vital blood flow, the engine just kind of sputters and your ability to recall stuff naturally takes a hit.
Next section, the overloaded modern mind. Let's look at navigating attention and stress. The multitasking myth. Checking email, texting a friend, listening to a meeting, eating lunch, scrolling the news. Oof, I bet this list looks painfully familiar. We try to juggle all these simultaneous tasks, and honestly, it makes us feel incredibly productive in the moment. But the harsh reality? We are secretly barely absorbing any of it. We're really just skimming the surface of our own attention.
Cognitive overload. This is when the volume of incoming info exceeds your brain's working memory capacity, making retention nearly impossible. Our brains simply aren't wired for heavy multitasking. You've got a finite working memory capacity. When the sheer volume of stuff coming at you, the emails, the texts, the background meeting audio, blows past that limit, retention mathematically becomes, well, nearly impossible. The info hits a bottleneck and just slips straight into the void.
So habit 3 is constant multitasking, and the tip is to practice time blocking for single tasks. To evict this specific memory thief, we've got to replace all that digital chaos with some structure. Set a timer for 20 minutes, close out all those other tabs, and give your absolute undivided attention to one single thing. When you strip away the interference, your memory retention absolutely skyrockets. Habit 4, chronic stress without healthy coping strategies. The tip here, implement deep breathing or mindful breaks. Let's be totally honest, modern life is incredibly stressful, and it's completely normal to feel overwhelmed. But the trick to protecting your memory isn't magically wiping out all stress, because, good luck with that. It's about countering it. Taking moments for deep breathing actively signals to your nervous system, hey, it's actually safe to relax right now.
Cortisol impact. Prolonged exposure to stress hormones can actively interfere with memory formation and retrieval. Cortisol is your body's main stress hormone, and living in a constant state of high stress physically floods your brain with it. It acts exactly like static on an old radio dial. All that cortisol makes it incredibly hard to tune in to the exact memory you're trying to retrieve.
Moving on to our last section, the comfort zone trap. Is your brain getting a little too comfortable?
Habit 5 is not challenging your brain. The tip: read a book, do a puzzle, or learn a new skill. Not challenging your brain is a passive habit, like endless doom scrolling, that just doesn't demand anything new from your mind. Instead, pick up a challenging book, do a complex puzzle, or even better, genuinely learn a new skill, like a language or an instrument. You literally have to give your brain a workout just like you would a bicep.
Neuroplasticity, the brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout life in response to learning. This is honestly such a beautiful, hopeful piece of science. It proves our brains aren't just frozen in place as we get older. By constantly learning and engaging in problem solving, we are physically wiring our brains to be stronger, denser, and way more resilient against forgetfulness.
Small daily improvements can help support better memory and overall brain health over time. As we start to wrap this up, please remember you do not have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Tiny positive adjustments. We're talking a 15-minute walk, a strict bedtime, just a moment of deep breathing. These things really compound into massive, long-lasting benefits for your brain.
Which of your 5 memory thieves will you evict today? We've walked through the 5 habits holding you back: poor sleep, lack of movement, constant multitasking, chronic stress, and a lack of mental challenge. So I want to leave you with this. Pick just one to focus on right now. Take that first active step toward a sharper, clearer mind today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I'll see you next time.